Hello there, let me start with the demo first so we can see this line and this groove in this element. If I go to edit mode, I can move those lines and they will automatically modify the groove. Pretty cool, isn't it? And so let's see how that was done. First of all, I have couple copies of components. Like there are some that are involved in actual cutting, so like this one is actually involved in cutting. So if we change it back to textured and hide this one, you will see this is my cutter, and then I just made another line that duplicates the mesh, so you can see they both point to the same mesh, and so I can have a version of this line that doesn't have any modifiers enabled. I can clear those all out, so it's only subdivision and shrink wrap. Right, so let's just talk about the line first. I have this component here, this object, which is on itself is just subdivision, so it's very simple. Couple vertices, couple vertices element. So I just needed something more organic and random. And then there's a second object, this one, that one with the cut, and it also shares the data between these two. So I use one without any extra modifiers, just with subdivision, and it will be used, I mean this one, and it will be used for all the shrink wrapping and stuff. And this one is the actual target that we want to work in, and you can see it has subdivision, it has boolean, and boolean is cutting this line cutter that I just showed you, so there's nothing extra. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's something playing around with. Right, so now, so the whole magic is basically in this line. Sorry, not this line, but how this subdivision, how all these modifiers are made based on this simple line. So there's just simple line. This is the whole geometry, this line with a couple of edges and whatnot. We can take it all apart and see how it's done. So first we start with subdivision, so we just make it smoother. If I do that, you'll see this is what you've seen in the line over there. Then we do shrink wrap. So if we look at our object without any cutting, this is where, oh yeah, and when I was moving, I was using some snapping as well. So when I was doing this, the actual node was staying on the surface. And after that, we're doing something fancy called, I called it transfer normals. That's my own geometry nodes. Let's switch it on. It's this one. Oh, something that is not needed. Let's kill it. So what's happening here, if you look at the blue line, let's hide this one. If you look at the normals by default, they are pointing in some random direction, and it's not exactly away from the surface. It is on. I made my own geometry nodes that when you enable them, it will start having those normals to point away from the surface. By the way, while I was doing something, let me see if I can just discover it immediately with you. There's this normal edit thing, and it says target object. Let me disable this. Nope, it's not doing what I was thinking it might do. All right, okay, let's ignore that. So again, this geometry nodes just changing the direction of normals, and then the next step is the other geometry nodes, this one, And what it does, if I enable it, let me switch off the visual and let's hide. It does this. So it turns this line with very appropriate normals. It turns it into this ribbon, and so eventually, sorry, with this one, it just sits on the surface. So it's a product of edge and a normal, and also it's shifted to the side a little bit so that the line that I have is basically a center line of this ribbon, right? And then I will shrink wrap it again onto the target surface, and you can see this no booleans one that we are looking at. So, and also I'm shifting it away a little bit. You can see there's offset, and it's because when I cut, I want it to be all the way away from the surface. All right, and when that is done, I have another geometry nodes. Actually, this is my old one that I have in my assets, and it is basically a version of Solidify, but it has a way of defining. Let me just flip faces. It has a way of defining the kerning or whatever it's called. Let me hide that, and let's hide that. So I can control how. Yeah, this is like your normal depth of cutting. Okay, let me position it so you can see. Yeah, so this is normal depth of cutting, and this one can control the size of the expansion of the bottom and of the top surface. So again, it starts with this ribbon, and then I extrude while expanding either top or bottom of this extrusion. And then I need to flip faces because sometimes that happens. And then I have the crease sharp edges geometry node that just automatically creases all the sharp edges, and then I subdivide as well. Let's see. Yeah, so I subdivide some more, and that's pretty much it. And then just smooth by angle so it looks nice. And that is the cutter. And so when it's booleaned with the actual object, you can get this. And so if I go to, again, if I go to cutter, come on. Oh yeah, I'm there already. So I can change all this stuff. I can change how much wide it is expanded and so on. Oh, you see there's a bug, but this bug is because of this my crease edges thing. So if I just go down a little bit, I'm losing it. Let's see if I can find the, look at that, I found it. There's another one. Yeah, well, it's not perfect. I can probably do better and just have my geometry nodes that makes the extruding to mark them as as creased. Anyway, and so yeah, having the same mesh between line and line cutter, I can hide the line cutter, but I can have the line being available to me just for demonstration purposes, and I can, you know, move that line and it will be moving the same mesh for the line cutter. So yeah, I have just one line that makes this groove, and I don't know, I'll see where I can use it. I have a couple ideas. That's it.